If you are holding a joint property with your brothers or any of your siblings, then this video is for you. Having a joint property is always good, but when as family members, when we hold property jointly, whether it could be inherited or purchased together, certain issues tend to arise frequently. These problems are often emotional as well as legal. What are the common issues that are seen? Disagreements on usage. One member may want to live in the property while others prefer renting it out or selling it. Or some unequal financial contribution. Some members contribute more to taxes, repairs, maintenance, and all that, while the others don't. So the lack of clarity on the expense sharing often results in disputes. And there are many more else. One more thing is inheritance. If it is an inherited property, under Hindu law, ancestral property creates corporationary rights actually, meaning every legal heir has a birthright to share. This often leads to litigation. When property is inherited without a clear will or a family settlement, disputes arise over shares. And also, when one wants to sell it, and well, the other person is not yet ready, or the person could be somewhere sitting in abroad where you could not reach out to your own brother and he is not ready to sell that property anymore. So, what are the problems? These are the common problems that one can see while having this. So, the only solution is you should have an open communication with them. Someone has to compromise. So you have to arrange a family meeting where everyone can have their concerns. So astrologically, there are some people who need to be very careful on this. So this problem arises when there is Mars karma. So karma of Mars is the indicator of land or a constructed property for that matter. So when your fourth house or fourth house is your how assets, property, your vehicles, and all that, right? So when your fourth lord has the Mars karma, what is Mars karma? So let me share my screen and explain to you very clearly how you can see for yourself all these things in your horoscope. So let me share my screen and explain to you very clearly. Okay. So what is the first condition? If your fourth lord in the 11th house. Before that, I've taken an example of a Virgo ascendant. You can be any ascendant, but for example, example, say I have taken an example of a Virgo ascendant. For an Virgo ascendant, their fourth lord is Jupiter. Jupiter loses the fourth lord of assets, property, and all that. When Jupiter goes into your 11th house, why 11th house? 11th house indicates Mars karma. So when your Jupiter goes into the 11th house, then when your fourth house is said to have Mars karma, which means when you are holding properties, need to be very careful if it's a joint one. So if you have a co-owner who is your own brother or anyone for that matter, then you need to be very careful. Fourth lord in the 11th house. What is the second combination? Second combination is your fourth lord in Kirtika, Mula, Purva Falguni or Revati. Fourth lord in Kritika, Mula, Purva Falguni or Revati. These four nakshatras carry Mars karma. So your fourth lord, which is Jupiter, is in the sign of Kritika nakshatra, is in the sign of Mula or the Revati, or in Kritika nakshatra, which is Pada 1 here, and Pada 2, 3, 4 of Kritika in Taurus sign. So fourth lord in any of these nakshatras also said to carry Mars karma. Third combination, we have seen fourth lord in the 11th house. Also 11th lord in the fourth house is also possible. So for a Virgo ascendant, your 11th house is ruled by moon. Moon, when it goes to the fourth house, here, fourth house, this is also an indicator of Mars karma. So 11th lord in the fourth house. Next thing, Saturn in the fourth house. Saturn itself is born in the nakshatra of Revati. Because in DNA astrology, the concept of DNA astrology here, Saturn itself is born in the nakshatra of Revati. And Revati nakshatra, as I said, carries Mars karma. So wherever Saturn sits, it will give you that karma of Mars. So Saturn in the fourth house gives you the Mars karma. And there is a slight karma. This is a slightly mild effect. So fourth lord goes into the sign of Aquarius. This also has that effect, right? Friends, so these are the 4 or 5 combinations of Mars karma. If you have any of these combinations, and if you are having a joint property, then ensure that it is safe. Ensure that the other person is willing to help you out in terms of your need, whether you want to sell or where you want to rent it out, or whatever, whenever it matters, that your brother or sister is very much reachable and very understanding. Otherwise, it's very better for you to become a sole ownership, take sole ownership of the property after having some compromises with your own family members. Thanks, friends. If you have any doubts, please do comment. Thank you. Bye.